I mean, I felt them touching my body, and the music's like, I can still see the goosebumps on me, the way that I felt the spirits of all the gay men that had come there to die, whose lives they lived enabled me to be free to dance. The lives that they lived enabled me to be free to dance, to be a healthy, vibrant being. I was not gonna stop dancing. What was the question you asked me to provoke me? Oh yeah, all she said was, bottoms up! And it brought back a whole slew of memories. I mean, you might think like bottoms up is like how I used to lean over at the dinner table and say, bottoms up! I mean, and I can put a link in to show you what we really did at the supper table right here in Key West, Florida. Bottoms up! But what you don't know is it was a stupid fucking policy that said the only fully nude public gay queer resort in Key West was going to institute a new bottoms up fucking policy. Now this was the only place in Key West, Florida where you could go any day, you didn't have to pay a cent, you just walk in, take off all your fucking clothes, walk around naked, go to the bar, get yourself a drink. I mean, there was music playing like, and then there were like beautiful men showing their asses sprawled out on lounge chairs, and people of all genders, people with titties and cocks. I mean, they were all there at Atlantic Shores Resort on South Street, until the day came when it came out on the front page of the fucking newspaper that Atlantic Shores, it says it's bottoms up for Atlantic Shores. And we knew that meant it was the end. I mean, what do you think when you read it's bottoms up for Atlantic Shores? Yeah, the new policy was that apparently if you got up off your lounge chair where you had your legs spread with your naked fucking sweaty balls on it, you had to put on your bottoms. If you had titties, you could go with your top off, but if you got up off that lounge chair, you better pull up your bottoms. That was the bottoms up policy. Bottoms up! Bottoms up! Well, we thought that was really fucking stupid, because not only did I walk around Atlantic Shores naked, but I also loved to go to the tea dance on a Sunday night, which was a remnant of gay culture in the 80s. The reason it was called a tea dance is you gather around 4 o'clock in the afternoon at tea time and dance naked. Well, it had changed a little bit in that it moved to the evening hours around sunset, but it was still a tea dance where you could dance naked, at least so I thought, you know. Nobody did but me for the longest time. I mean, I would dance naked and do public health outreach work for the local HIV service organization by wearing a full-length see-through condom on my head made of mesh. I was working, you know, but even when I wasn't working at a clothing optional resort, it made sense to me to dance naked. So long story short, the day came when the bottoms up policy came, and I knew that if I went to the Sunday evening tea dance, that I was going to have my fucking bottoms up. So I show up in a sarong with my very good friend, Flaming Gay Bruce. You know, Flaming Gay Bruce was a wand maker, and she had made 2 magic wands, and we 2 witches showed up with our magic wands at the tea dance, ready to really test this bottoms-up policy. So we get to the gate, and I've got my wand in hand, and I'm twirling it, and I'm wearing my sarong, and who would be manning the gate other than this, might I say, very vicious, quite vicious little bitch named who used to twirl around Key West in her convertible that said I mean, she'd come flying around the corner and almost run over me on my bicycle like a fucking badass hell. And I saw her manning the gate of all people where she was checking my ID, and I decided to ask her about the new bottoms-up policy. So I said, this is the only place in the world where I could ever go and dance naked under the stars. And she said, well, not anymore. And I said, are you telling me that the place where people have danced naked under the stars for 20-something years? She said, nobody ever did that but you, and that's why we made the policy. It was probably because of you that we made the policy, the bitch said. Well, I didn't say anything else. I walked in there with my sarong and my magic wand, and I started to dance. And the music intensified, and in the middle of it, I walked out on the pier to the end where the steps go down into the Atlantic Ocean, and I took off my sarong rather discreetly, and I got into that ocean, and I went swimming and twirling, and I worked out some of my anger and my aggression that I had felt when Miss Bottoms Up had told me at the gate that because of me, people couldn't dance naked here anymore. And I decided, I made my decision to follow Christ right then. And I got out of that ocean and I walked down that aisle with my sarong on that pier all the way back to where people were dancing. And I knew that this would be the fucking last tea dance. And if this was the last tea dance, I was gonna do it like I had always done it if they had to drag my fucking ass out of there. And I got out there and I started to dance on that dance floor. And let me tell you, it went into another dimension, girls. It went into another dimension because that music was loud and I started to sing and I had my magic wand in my hand, and before I knew it, I did not have a care in the world. I mean, I was like enraptured by God because I had decided to follow Jesus. And I put my hands up over my head and I started to dance and sing. And I mean, I was singing to the sky. I was singing like, hey, and the music's like, and I'm like singing in harmony with the music, and in the middle of it, I throw my sarong off into the corner, and I'm butt-ass naked, standing there with a wand over my head. And I mean, I can see and feel something supercharging my body, like there's an energy current running between me from earth to sky, like I have never felt in my fucking life. I mean, it was like the women singing in church that are jumping over pews and have decided to follow Jesus. I mean, but in this case, it was even bigger than any religion or Jesus. You know what I saw? I saw the spirits of thousands of fucking gay men that had lived on this island and had danced there, and they were all dancing with me. I mean, I felt them touching my body. I could still see the goosebumps on me, the way that I felt the spirits of all the gay men that had come there to die. And that I was dancing on a pier that was the next pier from where their names were etched in granite at the world's largest AIDS memorial. The world's largest AIDS memorial of its kind, they call it. Like, what does that mean? I don't know, but there were over 1,000 names by that point, growing every year. There had been maybe 700 or 900 added in the few years that I had lived in Key West at that point. And I kid you not, they were with me. And when I feel the spirits of the people who've gone beyond, that came before me, whose lives they lived enable me to be free to dance. The lives that they lived enabled me to be free to dance, to be a healthy, vibrant being. I was not gonna stop dancing because a bat out of fucking hell told me to put my bottoms up. So I'm dancing and the spirits are around me, and it's hey, 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 and all of a sudden in the middle of the singing, there are hands on my body, shaking my body like this and going, hello, 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 are you in there? Hey, 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 hey. Hey, yeah, yeah, hey, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hello, hello. She all but slapped me, the fucking bitch. And I opened my eyes, and there in front of me was that woman that had checked me in at the gate, the one that goes twirling around Key West in her convertible like a badass that had to tell me she was there to uphold the policy. And she said, do you remember what we talked about? And I'm looking at her, unable to speak, and she said, can you hear me? And I looked her deep in the eyes, and I said, this is serious. I looked her deep in the eyes, and I said, this is serious. I said, I really, really love you. I really, really love you. And I took my sarong, I put it on, still holding my magic wand, and I walked out of Atlantic Shores for the last time.
Oh, girl.
And now it is called the Santa Clara Condominium, where you too can live on the oceanfront in Key West in a tiny box for $1.5 million or so, maybe $2 million. There's no more Atlantic Shores. I don't know how to give the story a happy ending, except I can sit here and tell you the story that all of those spirits of the men that lived and died here still come to me when I tell this story. And I do feel that we have a lot of help from the spirit world. We have a lot of people who've come before us and a lot of people who will come later. And that when we really truly know that there is a lot more to life than what we think with our head or what we think with our dick, that there is a place in the middle called the heart, and that there are beautiful supporters and allies who come up and help us when we need and bring us through and give us the courage to keep the spirit alive. So blessed be to everybody, and bottoms up. Oh Lord, that was fun. How long she been talking now?